Book 6, Book of Morals and Precepts, Chapter 4, Life. I found this chapter very instructive. NPR 442. Fools fear as men and hope as gods. Bounded by mortal restrictions, they desire the achievements of immortality. But everlasting life is the reward of those who live good earthly lives without the inducement of immortality. Therefore, the prize is never revealed, and life maintains man in a state of doubt and perplexity. Hope he may have, but never assurance. NPR 443. Life raises some men up and casts others down. Not always does it bestow good fortune on the worthy or met out. To the unworthy they're just deserts. It raises men up to test them, and likewise casts them down. The man who discovers a golden treasure is being tested, even as he who is stricken with blindness. Each man is tested according to his weaknesses, not according to his strength. The reward of the worthy is not here, neither is the punishment of the wicked. Were the just rewards and punishments of men too readily apparent, the course to take in life would be too obvious to serve its great purpose. There must ever be the stimulus of doubt and perplexity. NPR 444. Among men, some are born to rule, and some to obey, but not all rulers can rule, or all servants obey. If then you cannot rule, learn to obey. And if you cannot obey, make yourself a better man, that you may be raised up to rule. NPR 445. Wisdom is nourished from without, but it grows from within. We live not by light of the great sun disk above, but by the light of the cool sun within. NPR 446. The bitter experiences, the sorrows and failures of life are the alternatives to the advice you have failed to heed. Who then has brought them upon your head? Instruction alone cannot give knowledge, nor can books bestow wisdom. The pupil sits at the feet of his master and gains knowledge, and the scribe reads the books of men. But wiser is he who sits under the stars and contemplates the universe, or reads the great book of God about him. Pandora's box. I point out again that hope was left in the box containing all the world's evils. I used to think that odd because hope is a good thing. However, free will, unrestrained, often makes us think ourselves like God, able to decide what is best for all. Hope for peace on earth, the call for the greater good, that is inspired by hope, but it ignores free will and it is arrogance. Humility is what tempers free will and stops it from becoming arrogant. Hope is tied to free will, and if you lack humility, hope is twisted in evil. But it only becomes evil when we fail to understand that free will often tells us a one-size-fits-all answer is possible. We can pass laws, create society that seems great, but the fact is it can only build protections against times when arrogance holds power. And each time those protections will be weakened, and no matter how well thought out things are, it could eventually fail, having been weakened so much. I mentioned in other comments on this chapter that it is in our nature to hold little value in the past. We see bad things, and instead of looking to the past to see what might have allowed those times to be better, we insist we must push forward. Worse, we have gained personally from times of arrogance, and we are reluctant to lose what we already have. We argue, what harm can it do? And we are wise, and those in the past never saw things that we have today. Problems faced today. Just because today is different, it does not mean human behavior has changed, and that is what laws in society is to restrain.